Hello and welcome to Conquering Mount Scrapmore with Brenda. I'm Brenda and today we're here with another installment of Curves Bootcamp. We're having a lot of fun with this and showing you guys a bunch of free things. So today you're going to find your templates to make your complex melons. Now these are a lot of fun and they're very simple curves, right? It's a little bit different than what we did the melons in the last time, but it's going to be fun. But I want to introduce you to a new channel that's starting out, and it's called Sew and Date. Now I don't know who the owner of that channel is and what her first name is, but I was poking around and trying to find it, but I couldn't find it. So I'm going to put her link in the show notes below. And also we have a Facebook group where we're building a community and we're having sew dates and we're inviting other crews from other communities to come sew with us, and we're having a lot of fun in there. The Facebook group is making use of the rooms feature in the group. So we get all sorts of impromptu sew dates, and then we get to vote on polls for when we want our next virtual sew date. So right now I don't know when we're filming this what our next virtual sew date will be, because today we started voting again for December. But you know, we're filming ahead, and that's the problem with filming ahead. So come on in, we're going to check this out and we're going to have fun making complex melons. Okay, so here we are with our melons, and basically you cut them out and you do the same as you would for a pattern that you're cutting out a blouse or something like that, right? So you cut them out, and I've got my thing all ready to go. And oh, I need my pin box. I got pins everywhere. So I have just basically taken them and, you know, cut them all out like you would cut out a blouse or whatever, that kind of a theory going on. Now, you cut one, and the melon needs to be unbiased, but the outside edge of this needs to be straight of grain, and this needs to be straight of grain. This little piece here has to be straight of grain. So what we're going to do first, I'll put all of this stuff over to the side. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this piece on to the end. And I'm just going to quickly give that a quick sew along our sew here, and then you'll see what I'm doing here. Okay, so I just sew it on one side, just a quick little 1/4 inch seam. And then I move it to the other side. And now I can start my melon, because that's more complex piecing that's going to go on here today. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to try and sew these two pieces together, right? Now, they don't look like they're going to fit, but they do, right? Because you have to take 3/8 off of each side of this piece, right? So, we're going to line this up. We're going to line it up like this. So we have the curvy bit on top and the background below, and we're going to push through and just go straight like 3 inches or 3 stitches. That's it. That's all you have to do. Now we're going to bring them together, and don't pull. Don't be tempted to pull or struggle with it. Or you could also have marked your lines. You know, like where you have to meet up, where's the middle, where's all this stuff. But this is a pretty easy block to go through. And that, if you're not comfortable as a beginner, marking your mid, your halfway, and your, like you could just by folding this, you can mark it. I'll show you here in a sec. Here, we'll get through this and we'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so this is going to meet up with this. Right at the end, okay. Come on, come on, come on. There. Okay. So, okay, let's take this off. All right. Now, we're going to look at this, and it's going to turn under. The red is going to be under. I've got a string. Okay, so just like that. Okay, so you just finger press this the right direction, right? That's the direction you need this to go, because you don't want the red showing through your white background, right? Now, what I was talking about before, you want to lay this down so these seams match up, and this, you start marking your halfway spot. And then you go to your quarter. So now you've got this thing marked out where you've got 3 little like finger press marks, right? You can take this one and make it just a little darker, deeper if you want. And this one too probably should be a little darker and deeper. And now you can see where it needs to be. There we go. Okay. So we see this. Now what we're going to do with this is we're going to press these out. Like that. Just like that. And we're putting it so that the white is behind the white. And we're lining them up so these seams line up perfectly, because that's what you need. You need these seams here to line up. And now you're going to go to your halfway mark. And you're going to move this all the way over here and find your quarter. Or your quarter mark, I guess. There. So I've made it quite visible for me. Now you're going to put these two together like that. Right? So you're going to try and line up the lines on the red with the finger press marks on the right. But one of the things you have to remember is these have to nest. These seams, right? Oh, and I pressed them the wrong way. I finger pressed them the wrong way. Oh, well, we'll just finger press them the right way. Oops. You know, things like that happen. Because now, this seam is going up. I did do it the wrong way, but let's keep it real. So the red goes this way and this way, right? So now that seam is going to nest just perfectly, and you can sew straight all the way up to that line. And you can see your stitching line right there. So when you drop your needle there, you know you have to start doing something now, right? So, I'm going to line up, where did that other line go? I'm going to line up these, and I'm just going to put a little pin in. Because I want them to match. Right? Now, you can sew these, you can sew a curve either way. With the round part up and the concave down, or it's still when you sew it round part up and you hand crank to the pin, you know, you just have to be a little more careful as to where it is, right? Where is it going? Well, I want to line those two up again, the middle with the other middle. So there's my middle, 1/4 inch down, and I want to line that one up to 1/4 inch down. And here we go. Now I'm just going to maneuver this just a bit so that I get a nice soft curve going. There we go. And pull this one there. Nice. I'm going to go right to the pin. And it's like magic. All of a sudden this thing just pops together, right? So, okay. So now we're at the last one. So I want to go 1/4 inch down. And I want to find that last quarter, or the marking that I finger pressed in, 1/4 inch down from the edge, right? So now I'm there. And you can just maneuver these very simply. People are asking, so you gotta show us how you do it when you pin it. And I'm like, oh my goodness. Okay. So here we are. Here's my, I don't pin all of it at one time, right? If I'm going to do them, I just roll up to my needle, and now I want to make sure I get these nested, this cross line here nested, perfect, and then I want to massage the rest of this in. And basically, this is think of it as a negotiation, not a hostile takeover. Like this is, you know, this is something you work at slowly, and we're getting to our big ta-da moment, and there we go. And as soon as you cross that little stitch line, you're good to go. Okay, so let's get to our ta-da moment. So here's our Complex Melon Block. Now you see this is a great scrap buster. It uses the same color as part of the melon, but you could make this totally scrappy if you want. If you wanted to really go through your scraps and start, okay, let's start playing with this. Now when you add all these complex melon blocks together, you create a little four patch, right, in the center. So if you're putting them so that your melons are like this, right, like, you know, they all fall this way, a little secondary pattern of a four patch will start to come up, and that's just cute. And if you can get your blocks where they're just all scrappy and kind of like matchy to the corner and the melons, I mean, it looks great. So, but these are a lot of fun to make, and they don't take long to do. Now I have made sure my fabric, the reds, press in. So on the back, this is pressing in towards the center. Now sometimes when you get cotton and it's being, you're sewing it and the center insists on going out, not in, okay, let it go that way because that's the way it's going to lie flattest, but then trim your curve. Trim this curve, like make little slits into it so it will lie flat, right? Because I mean sometimes cotton is funny, like some weights are much heavier than others, so if you have a heavier weight and two light weights, the heavier weight is going to dominate and go out, right? So you just, you know, clip your curve, make sure it goes nice and flat. I had so much fun doing this. I'm so glad that you came along with me on my little journey. So I hope you have an absolutely fabulous week ahead. And I look forward to our next time, our bit of time together. Check out our Facebook group and the impromptu sew dates and our Zoom sew date. Those are a lot of fun. You get to meet a lot of lovely and talented quilters. Okay, you take care. Bye. My husband and I would love to thank you for coming along with us on our little fun adventure here that we're having. We do have a Facebook group now, and that Facebook group is got some very talented quilters in there, and we love sharing and you know, posting pictures and commenting, and it's been a lot of fun. And the advantage of the Facebook group is sometimes I drop patterns in there early, so you kind of get a hint as to what is coming next. After the nosegay sew along, we're going to be doing Curves Bootcamp right away. So we'll get you sewing those curves, and it'll be fun. It'll be a lot of interesting little blocks that we've got to work on. But we would like you to share, like, and subscribe. Telling your friends about us and letting them know that you kind of like our channel, that means so much to us here. So you take care. You have a fabulous week ahead. Okay, bye.